Hello, NahamCon. Thanks everyone for attending my talk. Thanks to NahamSec for putting on this conference and inviting me to present here. The title of my talk is Bug Bounty Platforms, Not Just for Bug Hunting Anymore. So a little about myself. I'm Philip Wiley. I'm an offensive cybersecurity instructor at INE. I'm a pen tester and red team operator with 9 years of experience. Got my start as a sysadmin, moved into network security, application security, and then into pen testing. And I've been in IT and security for a little over 23 years. I'm an adjunct instructor at Dallas College teaching ethical hacking. This is where I got my teaching start. I've been teaching there for a little over 3 years. I started the Pwn School Project, which is an education-based meetup. Started out teaching offensive security techniques and then moved into other areas since there is the need for that education for people trying to get started into the field. I'm a co-author of the book, The Pen Tester Blueprint, and this is a book on starting as a career as an ethical hacker. And this is based on my classroom lecture that became a conference talk that eventually became a book. I'm an advocate for hacking is not a crime. Our mission there is we're trying to get the negative connotation away from hacker. That skill set is not only used for bad, it's used for a lot of good. And I'm also an ambassador for an Innocent Lives Foundation. And kind of how I got involved in bug bounty and got interested in the subject was just from, being a pen tester. I followed people like Jason Haddix, and he has some really good techniques and things that he uses that I learned from. So I became a fan of his and just kind of started following Bug Bounty, following Bug Crowd, HackerOne, and then Bug Crowd back in 2018 started their ambassador program. And I'd been telling my students, one of the ways to get experience as a pen tester is to do bug bounties, because you're getting to do pen tests or vulnerability assessments against production environments. So you'll be able to get the experience that you would in pen testing that is very helpful in getting a job as a pen tester. So I became an ambassador so I could learn more about bug bounty. It was a way for me to mentor and teach, help others get started in bug bounties. So that's kind of where I got started, and actually was the first ever ambassador of the year, which was awarded in 2019 for my efforts at Bug Crowd. So this is what really got me interested in space, and I went on to learn about some other really cool people like NahamSec, Stoke, and some other really cool bug hunters out there. So what is pen testing? Pen testing is assessing security from an adversarial perspective. So you're going in attacking like a cyber criminal would do, because this is one of the better ways to test security. If you're just running a vulnerability scanner, there's things that you can miss. So there's a good chance that you're going to miss some vulnerabilities there, and things that are exploitable or higher risk. If you're able to exploit a certain level of access to a system, if you're on as a low-level user, can you elevate your privileges? Can you do lateral movement? So you really don't know that unless you test it the same way a malicious hacker or cyber criminal would do. And so this is assessing security from the adversarial perspective, and you're paid per project. So I'm emphasize that because we're going to talk about the differences between the two of pen testing and bug bounty. So these pen testing skills or offensive security skills are helpful in other areas like application security. This is what got me interested in pen testing. SOC analysts. So SOC analysts are monitoring for malicious traffic. So be able to detect malicious traffic, understanding the different type of attacks will make you better as a SOC analyst. Digital forensics and incident response. Investigating breaches, investigating malicious traffic or activity is going to make you a better investigator. And security operations, so your firewall administrators, your SIEM administrators, IPS, all those, be able to understand that malicious traffic, that hacker mindset is going to make you a better defender. So what is bug bounty? There are some similarities, and that's really why I did this talk today, to kind of show you how you could use these skills to become a pen tester. if that's where you decide to go with your career. So, same as pen testing, this is assessing security from an adversarial perspective. This time you're paid per vulnerability instead of per project. And this is also referred to as crowdsourced. So sometimes you hear bug crowds or bug bounties referred to as crowdsourced pen testing. And so this means you got like a number of people, not just one person performing a test. So this could be, just theoretically, this could be anywhere from in the tens to the hundreds of people testing an app. And so the strength of that is that you're getting, a lot more opinions, a lot more hours. When you figure out the amount of hours of work that someone's putting into test compared to an individual, that's a lot more human hours put in. And so a lot more chance to find vulnerabilities. And sometimes, this is a good add-on along with a pen test too. And we'll describe something here in these next few slides on how that's kind of done by some of these bug bounty companies. So there are some similarities and differences between these two. So pen testing compared to bug bounty. So as we mentioned before, pen testing is paid per project, while bug bounties are paid per bug or vulnerability. So you have individual pen testers, sometimes a team, could be typically a small team if there is a team, compared to crowdsourced security assessments using multiple bug hunters, also known as security researchers. So this could be any number of people. This could be a small group to, just having some experience in some of the live hacking events that BugCrowd puts on their bug bashes. Man, they probably had close to maybe 100 people show up for these bug bounties. And, normally a bug bounty could have, possibly 1,000 people working on it. So the opportunity to find bugs are more. And plus, if you get to work in one of those live hacking events like HackerOne does or BugCrowd, you're able to work with other people and learn. So there's good opportunities there. And I think it gives you the opportunity to, some people, that are experienced out there are willing to help and teach you along the way. So these are good opportunities. And so pen testing experience from bug bounty. And so one of the things I want to share here too, as far as getting this experience, how helpful this is. One of the things I'd share with my students, people I mentor, people asking for advice, they ask how, to get experience in bug bounties, get experience in pen testing. And the thing I share is, how you can use this bug bounty experience. And that is helpful because I was talking to a hiring manager of a pen testing firm over the summer last year, and he was telling me how it was easier to find web app pen testers because of bug bounty. There's bug bounties that are IoT related, could be hardware related, car hacking type of bug bounties, but more commonly, there's a lot of web app pen testing or web application bug bounties. So this gives you experience. So that kind of was really good to hear. It validated what I believe. So, give me a little bit of evidence that this is actually the case. In theory, it makes sense that you're getting experience would be helpful. But when you hear from someone that's hiring pen testers, that's really, really good to hear. Especially when, to be able to share with people trying to get into it, to let them know this is what you do. So pen testing through bug bounty platforms. So this is an option here. Like BugCrowd and HackerOne, they also perform pen tests. And so while I was an ambassador for BugCrowd, I actually did one of their next gen pen tests, one of their very first ones. And their next gen pen test was basically a pen test along with a bug bounty going along simultaneously. So, you have a researcher would go through, perform a pen test while you have other people participating in that bug bounty. And so, to get invited to these, like with BugCrowd, you would sign up, let them see your skills, and you get the opportunity to do that. But a lot of this is going to take, as you get experience. So if you're someone coming in to one of these bug bounty platforms, you don't have the pen testing experience yet. As you get experience, you're finding bugs, showing success, and putting time on the platform, then you'll get invited to do things like these penetration tests. And so there's, that's a good way to learn. And with the way BugCrowd does it, you're getting paid for bugs as well as for the pen test. So it's not only getting paid per vulnerability, it's also getting paid to perform the pen test. And so there's some other companies that they're crowdsourced pen testing, similar to a bug bounty, and like Synac, they still have the bug bounty piece to it, where people are looking for individual bug bounties. But there's also two people that are performing pen tests. Then Cobalt, they started out as a pen test company, but they went to pen testing as a service model. So this means that, you know, companies are paying them to do pen tests, and what happens is the researchers or their penetration testers perform a pen test. So you're getting paid for an individual pen test. And then in Synac, you know, you're performing pen tests with them. But, you know, the interesting thing between like bug bounty, starting out with bug bounty, it's a little bit easier to get in. You apply, you start participating. But with these platforms like Cobalt and Synac, you have to go through an interview process. There's some technical challenges that there may be like a vulnerable VM or a CTF type challenge that you have to be successful in and get past the interview to be able to join. So those are some options there to kind of expand past bug bounty, or if you have a little bit of bug bounty experience, and that's a way to pivot more into the pen testing side of things. And so one of the things, you know, if you get in and you don't make it first try on these interviews with that, keep practicing and you'll get that experience and you'll get to move on. And as you get that experience on those other platforms, you can have the opportunity to do pen tests with them. And so how does the bug bounty experience help? So how the bug bounty experience helps out is when you're performing a pen test, you're learning, you know, how to do the steps of a pen test. You're learning how to test for vulnerabilities, and a really good place to look for those is the OWASP Top 10. Learn the OWASP Top 10 because this is going to help you during interviews. If you're interviewing for a pen test job, whether it's web application pen testing or not, those are the vulnerabilities you typically get asked questions about. So know the different types of SQL injection, the different types of cross-site scripting, how to remediate those vulnerabilities. And so as you read the OWASP Top 10, you understand those vulnerabilities a little bit more and really learn to realize the risk. So not only you find these vulnerabilities, it's important to understand the risks, and so that way you can explain how to remediate and understand the severity. So when you're working with someone on a pen test or you're doing a bug bounty, you're able to share, you know, this is why this is a risk, and be able to explain that. So going through that process is going to help you on the interviews as well as the technical skills that you're gaining. So when you go into, you know, to interview for a pen testing job, or if you're trying to interview to get on with Synac or Cobalt, you're able to perform these technical challenges, these CTF or vulnerable VMs they give you, or vulnerable environments that you perform pen tests against. You're able to perform those based on what you've learned. During your technical interviews, you're able to describe how you use different methodologies and how you look for different types of vulnerabilities, and explain how to use the different tools. So these are the same things they're going to ask you on a technical interview. So you're getting that experience. And to go back to like the bug bounty platforms and like Cobalt and Synac, you can get in those platforms with a little less experience. And so they're, you know, if you're going to try for like, you know, some of these really well-known pen testing firms, they're usually going to require a certain amount of experience, sometimes certifications. And so it's a little easier to get into some of these platforms. Not saying to do the work is easy, but they're a little more friendlier because they, you know, the crowdsource model requires a lot of researchers. So they're constantly want to bring people on, you know, like HackerOne has some great learning content. Their Hacker 101, also like Bug Crowd University, they're wanting to educate people to get them on the platforms. So they're going to be more friendly towards bringing people on compared to some of these other pen testing companies. They're going to be more particular, and it's going to be a little more difficult to get in. So this is a good way to get experience. So, you know, getting the experience doing the interview, learning the different tools to be able to perform the pen test. So this is what's needed to get in. So this is one of the reasons I recommend doing bug bounties. Also things like Hack the Box, Try Hack Me are good ways to get experience. Doing CTFs. So all this stuff helps as you gain the experience through these different things, is to help you on your path to becoming a pen tester. And if you enjoy, you know, doing bug bounties, then you can still do both. I know a lot of people that are pen testers that do bug bounty part-time. And so that's a possibility. You can make some extra money that, and you're also sharpening your skills. So if you're working somewhere as a pen tester and you're not getting much web app pen testing experience, then if you're doing bug bounty, you're going to be able to get more experience. Maybe you'll get some IoT experience, expand into some other areas. And so one of the things about being a pen tester or a security researcher or bug hunter is you're constantly having to learn. And so this gives you a way to try new things and get that experience. So thank you for attending my talk. Thanks again to NahamSec for putting on this conference. I appreciate everything you do for the community. And feel free to contact me and reach out to me. Here's my Twitter handle and my LinkedIn connection. So I'm always happy to answer any DMs or messages on LinkedIn. I do a lot of mentoring and I'm always happy to help people out. So hope to connect with you, and thanks again.